Good evening, and I welcome you, students. But we are discussing the topic of the gravitation. Chapter is gravitation, and last time, students, we have defined what is pressure, what is thrust, what is force, and what is the reason pressure term was defined. Can you tell me what is pressure, students?
The pressure is the force acting per unit area.
Again, I told you a difference between force and thrust. What is the difference between thrust and force?
Sir, in thrust, force is exerted by the object perpendicular to the surface.
And then the pressure was defined as thrust per unit area. Last time we defined what we defined student. This is very important point because students in the books we do write pressure force per unit area, but you know what is the difference. The pressure is always thrust per unit area, students. Why? Because thrust is a perpendicular force. That means what we are trying to say, if you have an object, if I consider this rod, student, this is at 90 degree to this. Now the pressure exerted by this, the pressure exerted by this on this, for example, on this, pressure exerted by this rod on this is now the downward force which is due to the weight of the, which is due to the weight of this object, which you know is m into g here, divided by the area of contact, this area of the contact, area of the contact. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, if I change the angle, what will happen? That's the reason we talked of this. Supposing this is the same object, this is the same rod, student. I have changed it. I am not putting it at this 90 degree angle. Now this is inclined at some angle theta, students. Force is still acting on this, right? But now is the pressure same in the two cases? Tell me. Will the pressure be same? Mass is same. It still has m mass, students. And the value of G is still there. But what do you think? The pressure is same here, or how do we calculate the pressure in this case now?
The pressure will not be same.
It will not be same. So how do we say that then? How will we because we want the pressure thrust, not the force. That's the reason I'm saying thrust, student. Pressure is thrust per unit area or perpendicular force. Now what will I do in this cases? In this case, you can see I don't want to go into complete calculations in ninth class because it is making some angle. It is making some angle, students, but it has two components. We told you one is the vertical component of the force. This is called the horizontal component of the force. So we can divide the force into two components. We can divide the force of this in two components. The vertical component of the force, the vertical component of the force divided by the pressure is the vertical component of the force divided by the area in contact. So this is not the same as in this case, right? In this case, the pressure is nothing but force per unit area. Area, you can see this is the area of the contact, this is the area of the contact, but this was at 90 degree. So the thrust is equal to force here, but here we have to take the vertical component and there is a horizontal component, and this will pressure will be, which pressure will be more, this one or this one? So this I am saying P1, this is my pressure P2. What do you think? Which pressure is more, P1 or P2? Which will exert a greater pressure, students?
Sir, P2.
P2 will be more. How P2 can be more? Then you have divided the force into two components. Here there is only one component, that is the downward. So P1, the pressure of P1 will always be greater than P2, students. We have shown you this also. But we told you here I have a pen, student. It has a pointed tip. It has a pointed tip, right? This is my hand, student. If I apply force from this side, what is happening? My hand is getting hurt. Yes.
Yes, sir.
And if I change this, what will happen? You will see Force is the same, but I am less hurt now. The pressure is less because it is not at 90 degree. So there will be two components. One will be the horizontal, other will be the vertical. The vertical component is responsible, or in this case, if I say this is the situation when this is at right angle, this is at making a 90 degree, then that, and then the area in contact, this is the area in contact of my hand, student. That is the pressure, that is thrust per unit area, thrust per unit area, or force per unit area. But if I change this, then what happens? The force gets divided in two components, horizontal and vertical. The vertical component downward is responsible for the pressure, which will become less. You can experience it yourself. But for our simplification, students, our simplification, this point was important. So I told you, these points are not explained in the book so easily because we are used to pressure F by A. Always is our force per unit area, but that force is different from the normal force. It is a perpendicular force, students. That is why we called it thrust. What is thrust? What was the definition of the thrust we gave you?
The thrust is the force exerted by an object perpendicular to the.
That is why we talk of perpendicular. So now I hope everything is clear. Why I spend time on you students. I want to explain to you, and I want to explain each and every detail. And in the higher classes, you will see that we can make calculations by using the trigonometric functions like sine of I and sine, like sine angles, sine theta, cos theta, tan theta, which you have studied in mathematics. Did you study those sine angles, cos, sine, cos, tan in your trigonometry in maths?
No, sir, not
No, sir. In 10th class, you will study that those angles will be used. Trigonometry will be used in order to calculate the exact amount of these pressures. So we are not going into details. As I say that our notes are very important, and students, they recorded videos are available. Subscribe and press the button that as soon as the video is uploaded, you will get also in your with you. So in the notification, press the notification so that you recover it, because if you will listen it, you will learn a lot. Our purpose is that's what we are teaching you is science. I'm not teaching you chemistry, physics, maths, or whatever. I teach science. Science means learning. Learning means that we must understand each and every word, each and every line. And what are the laws of science? They are valid. They are valid, student, and they are working. Therefore, understanding is very important. The basic concepts, the basic laws should be understood very clearly by the students. So we give more time to you with more everyday examples. You have seen a lot of examples I bring from the everyday life. Why do I do that? So that we can relate these laws and apply them. Apply them. Application is very important. When you will go for any competition exam like G or NEET or other, we are applying these laws, application. And these applications are working, students. And because of these applications, you can see I am talking with you. I'm talking with you. You are able to listen to me. The technology. What is technology, student? The applications of the laws of science. What is a satellite which is thrown from the earth to the orbit, student? It is following certain laws which are obeyed. Otherwise, they will break down. So application is very important. And that's why we do that. And examples help us in getting closer to and understanding that why these laws were given, how these laws were given, because there are activities in your books now. Do you see activities? Do you see some experiments are being done? And you will experience these activities will come as a question in your papers now. And these activities or diagrams will be given, and MCQ questions or other type of questions will be asked students, and based on this you have to answer. So those students who do not understand, they are not able to answer the questions correctly, and those students who are mugging, they are also not able to answer it, because here you need to understand. So whenever we begin a lesson, what we do, students, we are saying, okay, come out, focus, concentrate, set up a target. Okay, our target today is pressure in fluids. My today's target is pressure in fluids. And therefore, we give you some recap, some revision of what we are doing. What is pressure? What is force? What is thrust? So we are aware of the pressure is a term which was given because the same force can exert different pressure, right? The force
Yes,
is
sir.
same, but pressure is different. And this is applicable in our everyday life. You have seen how the camels are walking on the sand, how they are running on the sand. You have seen how big are their feet, how the tanks are running, students, on the roads, which army or soldier army is using. Why there is a belt? What they are doing basically? If the trucks have wider tire, you have seen the tractors have wider tires, so they are increasing the area of contact. The force is the same. Then tank has more than 1,000 tons of weight. How it will walk on the ground? Otherwise, pressure will be so high, it will just go deeper inside the earth. So in order to do that, what they did, they increased the area of the contact. So the pressure became less. Force is same. Therefore, it was necessary to define the term pressure. So we have given plenty of examples of that, student. Now I'm talking of today's concept, pressure in fluids, students. When I write a word, student, can you tell me, student, what do you understand by a fluid? What are fluids, students? What are fluids? You have said there are 3 states of matter. Which are the 3 states of matter you studied, student? Tell me.
Solid, liquid, and gas.
Okay. Are the solids fluids?
No, sir.
What about solids? Are they fluids?
No, sir.
Why they are not fluids?
Because, sir, they cannot flow.
They cannot flow. So fluids means those substances which can flow. Those substances which can flow. What flows, student? What flows? Solids do not flow. What about liquids? Do they flow?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you are saying liquids flow. Okay, liquids are fluids. Liquids are fluids because liquids flow. What about gases?
Yes, sir.
Gases are also fluids. Air flows. Air flows from higher to lower pressure. You have seen the winds flowing, and you studied that topic also, that how if pressure is high and if pressure becomes low, the wind starts blowing from higher pressure to lower pressure. So liquids flow, gases flow, they are fluids. They are fluids. But you have seen air is a mixture of gases, you already know. But if I take different liquids, you can take water and you can take alcohol. Someone can take oil, kerosene oil or petrol, but all the liquids will flow at the same rate. Do you
No,
think
sir.
no, sir? That we will try to understand what is the meaning of this. So we are saying the fluids will exert a pressure. Earlier, what I was talking, that here on a table I have kept some book or any substance, any piece of block, and you are saying it is being attracted downward by the gravitational pull of Earth. Or we are objects, for example, we have mass. When we are walking, we have a vertical downward force attracted by the gravitational force. We are exerting pressure. We are exerting pressure on the ground on which we are walking. And whenever pressure is less, what happens? If we gave example of a beach sand, if I will stand, what will happen? I will go deeper in the sand. If I lie down, I will go less deep in the sand, because the area of contact was increased. So we are exerting a pressure, and now fluids also exert a pressure. Therefore, substances which can flow easily are called fluids. Number 1. Is it clear? All
Yes, sir.
liquids and gases are fluids. Number 2. A fluid exerts pressure in all direction. Now this is interesting. If I have air in my room, is it exerting different pressure at different points? You know, the air is exerting equal pressure. So they are exerting pressure in all the directions, in all the directions. It is not that the pressure is there only in one direction. But when you pressure variation takes place, you know, the air starts moving from higher pressure to lower pressure. Now the question is, why should the fluids exert pressure? Why should anything exert a pressure? What your answer is? We are saying fluids exert pressure. Can you tell me, number one point? Number two, why should the fluids exert pressure? Students, why anything should exert a pressure?
Because of its weight.
I'm not changing the definition of the pressure. That is always thrust per unit area, or we write F by A. So there is a force, student, and that force you are saying is M into G, which here is W, which is the mass. They have a mass, student. They have the value of G. So due to the weight, student, due to the weight, the fluid will exert a pressure in all direction. Number fourth point. Any question can be out in the paper when I say there. Why should the fluid exert a pressure? Because they have a weight. In other words, if the weight will be more, what will happen? The pressure will be less or more? If the weight will be more, what will be the pressure? More or less?
More.
More pressure will be there. So fluids exert pressure which depends on the weight. And we are aware of student are asking, sir, if air has a pressure, we don't feel it, we don't experience it. Are you experiencing the pressure of the air? Tell me.
No, sir.
No, sir. But you are saying that air is exerting a pressure. Is it true air is exerting pressure, or it is only just written? What do you think?
Sir, air exerts pressure.
How will we say that air exerts a pressure? You have seen the strong winds blowing. The wind energy, how the wind energy is created. You are aware of that, students? Wind energy. How the wind energy is created? You have seen, while you are traveling at some points, you see big wheels rotations by the winds, blow of the winds. So they are exerting pressure. They have a force per unit area. So you are able to generate electricity. And they are saying that is very important in the future, that we should be able to generate more and more energy from those. So atmospheric pressure on Earth's surface is a thrust, I'm again writing, exerted per unit area on the surface due to the column of the air. Due to the column of the air. You have seen in science labs something called which instrument is used for measuring the pressure of the earth? Are you aware of that? What in science labs, what is that? What do they have? Use something to measure pressure. There is a column of air, student, which they are saying they will use to find the pressure exerted by the air. So what is that on Earth's surface? Barometers, what they are saying? Barometer. Have you heard about it or seen it? So Earth has an atmospheric pressure, and we are living on Earth. We have got so much used to it because we also have a pressure inside our body. So if the two are equal and opposite, then what is the result of that? What will happen? Will you experience it?
No, sir.
So we don't experience it. But as you will see, once you try to climb up the mountains, then situation changes. You will see some problems coming in your body itself. What happens if you climb up the mountains? What will happen? The pressure will become more or less? What happens as you go up the mountains? Air becomes thick or thin?
Thick.
Thick. How it becomes thick as you go higher and higher? The oxygen is more or less as you climb the mountains.
Oxygen is less.
Then it should be thin or thick. It becomes less, thinner. So what will happen then? You will see the difficulties. So what we are trying to say in general, we know that the air also exerts a pressure. Air also exerts a pressure, but we also have a pressure inside of our body. So we are cancelling each and every pressure, and moreover, we have got used to it. But you will experience it if you go to zero gravity situations. where there is no atmosphere, in vacuum, we will experience different type of situations. Okay, we are not going to details of that, but we are saying the fluids exert pressure. We are very clear about it. And normal ocean level pressure is how much? Their measurement is done ocean, ocean level, that's a ground. How much it is written? 1013.25 millibar, which is equal to 101.325 kilopascals, which is 760 millimeter of mercury column. Mercury is used in barometer, student, to measure that. 760 means how many centimeters? 760 millimeter of Hg means what? Height of the column. How many centimeters it will be?
76 centimeters.
You are aware of the 1 centimeter. I mean, when I use a scale, then I get some idea how many centimeters are there. We are going, this is a 30 centimeter scale. Double it 60 and then 60 plus 16. So that will be the height of the column of the mercury. Is a mercury, student. A mercury is used, student. Mercury. How much column of the height we are saying at the sea level? The pressure is exerted by air. Okay? And the mercury column height will be pushed to how much? This height, I'm saying how much? H? 76 centimeter. 76 centimeter per unit area on the earth surface. Height. And so this is just an idea we are giving that, okay, at normal ocean level, the pressure is 101.325 kilo. This is a kilopascal. Pascal is a very small number then. You know what is a Pascal? What is a Pascal, student?
SI unit of pressure.
SI unit of pressure. Pascal is SI unit of, what happened? Pressure is SI unit. Pressure is SI unit of pressure. It was given in the honor the scientist, great scientist Pascal. So SI unit of Pascal, which I say, you said pressure is equal to 1 Pascal means what? If I say 1 Pascal, 1 PA means how much? 1 Newton divided by 1 meter square. When a force of 1 Newton is acting on an area of cross section of 1 meter square, that is a Pascal is a small unit then. Right? If I say that this is my hand, put a 100 rupee note on this. What is the pressure? It's very small. That pressure is very small, student. But if I put 10 packets of these books, then what happens? That becomes more Pascal. So maybe 1 Pascal is very small unit, right?
Yes, sir.
So that is why we are saying 101.325 kilopascal, because kilo means what? 101.325 kilopascal means how much, student? How much? 101.325 into 10 power 3 pascals, or approximately I can write 1 into approximately 10 power 5 pascals. ठीक है? 1 into 10 power 5 Pascal, student, is the pressure exerted by what? Air at the normal ocean level. 10 power 5, ठीक है?
Yes,
Pascals. 10 power 5 Pascal, I'm saying, not saying 1 Pascal is very small. That means that is the pressure of the air at the ocean level, which will be how much in terms of the mercury column? 76 centimeter, or you are saying 760 millimeter of Hg column. Hg. Mercury, you know, is a liquid. Mercury is a liquid. Mercury is a metal, is a liquid. Why do we use? Because mercury you can easily see. You can easily see
Yes,
the mercury shines. So mercury is one of the metals, you know, which is a liquid. All other metals are, what other metals are? Air,
solid.
solid. Important. How much we learn in everything. Every word has a meaning. Try to understand and learn. This will help us a lot, expand our imagination and knowledge of our mind, students. Okay, so far so good, student. So we understand fluids are exerting pressure around us. Let us see something more interesting now. We are saying all fluids exert pressure like air inside a tire. You have a car, student, you have a tire of the car. Okay? What happens in the tire of the car? What you are going after 2-3 days? What you do? You go to the petrol pump and you get air inside that. Do you get it?
Yes, sir.
What will they do? The particles are there. The particles of the fluids are constantly moving in all directions at random. So inside the tire, what is happening? You have air molecules, air mixture of gases which you have. These molecules are there. They are moving constantly. Are they fixed at one point? No. They are moving in particular direction? No. They are randomly moving in all directions, in all directions. So as the particles move, what will happen? They keep bumping into each other and into anything else in their path. They are striking with each other. They are striking with the walls of the tires. And when they will do such collisions, what will happen? They will exert a pressure. They will exert a pressure. Pressure is due to the collisions of these particles on the walls. The collisions cause pressure, and the pressure is exerted equally in all directions. This is important point. Is the pressure more somewhere or less somewhere? Tell me. If
No,
I
sir.
this is my tire of a car, student, supposing. This is the tire of a car. How you are feeling the air inside this? Supposing I'm not that good in drawing, student. So you are putting air from this side. So there are particles, student, of the air. So what they are doing? They are colliding with each other, as well as there are collisions. So student, they are colliding, and as a result of these collisions, what is happening? They will exert a pressure, and these collisions are random. They are random. They are in all directions. Therefore, the pressure is exerted. Pressure is exerted, student, equally in all the directions. Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Factors which affect the pressure in a liquid. Now, if I have a liquid instead of this, supposing I take a liquid, student. ठीक है? Let me take, student, a liquid. Supposing I have, students, some container like this. ठीक है? And you are putting a liquid in this. You have put a liquid in this, student. ठीक है?
Yes.
Now, if I have, supposing I have closed it. This I have closed it for the time being. ठीक है? Point A, B, and C, student. So this liquid has a pressure, yes or no?
Yes.
You are saying liquid will have a pressure. What is will be that Why the pressure is there? Because these are the particles of the liquid. They are moving in all the directions. Are they at rest? No, they are. Then they are colliding with the walls, and the pressure will be same everywhere or different?
Same everywhere.
Same everywhere. They are exerting pressure on the ground. They are exerting equally in all the directions, equally in all the directions. ठीक है? But the question is, students, if I open supposing C, what will happen? The liquid will start flowing out of it. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
The liquid will flow like this. Supposing this is from C, the liquid is flowing. Why the liquid is flowing? If I open this, because there is a pressure on this liquid and it starts coming out. Now, students, is the pressure same everywhere at this point, at this point, at the point A, B, C? What do you think? The pressure is same at A, B, and C, or are different?
The pressure is same.
Same. Okay, let me open the B. I am opening the B, student. Now, what will you observe? If I open the B, students, again you see liquid coming out, but it is not coming at this point. This is coming at this point, student. Now tell me, is the pressure same or different?
Different.
Okay. Now I opened B, student. I opened C. Now I open A. I am opening A, student. What happens? I see again a liquid. This is open A, student. This is my A. Now what do you see? The liquid is traveling to a greater distance. Now what do you think? Where the pressure is more? At C, B, or A? Now the pressure is same or different?
Different.
Different. Pressure is different, student. Where the pressure is more? At point C, at point B, or at point A?
Point A.
So pressure of A is more than pressure of B, and pressure of B is more than pressure of C. That means, student, with increase in depth, student, which I am saying the height, ठीक है? The pressure increases. Does it increase?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you go inside the sea, student, what happens? As you go deeper, the pressure becomes more or less?
More.
Pressure becomes more. So the pressure depends on the depth, student, of the liquid or height. Pressure becomes on the depth or height H of the liquid. Why should it depend on the depth or height of the liquid, student? Important point. Why? Pressure increases, student, with the depth. Tell me what you think about it. What is happening? What is happening, student? As you go deeper and deeper, the pressure is due to what, student? What is the pressure due to?
Weight of fluid.
Weight of the fluid. Now, what is happening if you consider different layers of the fluid, student? See, interesting thing is coming now. If I see, these are the layers of the liquid, student. Layers of the liquid. What is happening? This layer of the liquid has how much liquid above it? This much. And if I consider this layer of the liquid, student, how much liquid it has? This height. And if I consider this layer of the liquid, student, how much height is there? H1 height, H2. So what is happening? The height is, there is a more liquid above it, student. If the quantity of more liquid is there, as the height increases, what will happen? The weight will be more or less?
More.
So this column of the liquid has more liquid above it. has more weight on it. Therefore, the force is more here. Downward force, which is acting F is equal to m into G, is mass is more here in this. The result is that the pressure will be more here. The pressure is same on this side or that side. Interesting what I'm trying to tell. Okay, let me go back. Students, now something very interesting. If I have student liquid, if I consider a block of wood here, student, what is happening? We are saying these liquids particles are colliding with it from this direction, from this direction, from this direction, from this direction, so they are exerting a pressure. And if I have this and this pressure, they are equal and opposite. This pressure is same as this, but if I consider this pressure and this pressure, student, what will happen? These two pressures are not same, because there is a column of height. So the pressure depends on density of the liquid, number one. It depends on the depth of the liquid, number two, height. And it depends on the G. G is same. Density of the liquid is same. If I say water is present or inside the water, C, whatever it is, I'm not changing their density. Then what remains is the depth of the liquid. Is it clear?
Yes,
So
sir.
the pressure is not same at this point and at this point, student. These two pressures are different because height is different, and therefore the weight above is changing. As you go deeper, there is more liquid above it. The weight is more, the force is more, the downward m into G is more. Therefore, the pressure increases as you go deeper, as you go deeper and deeper inside the fluids. And that is the reason, student, you saw how the liquid was coming out. The size of the holes were same, and it fallen to a lower distance. It went further away because it has more pressure, more pressure, more pressure. So with the depth, the pressure increases. But this pressure, these pressures are equal and opposite because there are the same level, same depth, only height. Interesting? Do you understand now? That point is important because what we are talking, what we wanted to understand, student, that fluids exert pressure. Now we understand why the pressure is there, why the pressure is there. Therefore, if I have a liquid, student, you have a bucket full of water. Okay? You are saying there is a liquid in it, it has a pressure because there is a thrust per unit area. And on the sides, you will see the pressure is equal, but with as you go deeper and deeper, the pressure becomes more. Because with depth, with height, the pressure is changing. Students, then what happens? For example, when you swim, student, what happens? What happens when you try to swim? Why don't you sink down, student? Why don't you sink down? So when you had a swim in a pool, do you feel lighter or heavier when you go inside the water?
Lighter.
Lighter. You are experiencing that as you dive in the water and you swim, your weight looks less than actual weight. True weight is more, you look lighter. Why do you look lighter, student, when you are floating on the water, when you are swimming in a pool? Why? Now you have seen that water, what happens? Water, what is the water doing, student? What is the water doing? What is the water doing? Your weight is acting downward due to the gravitational force of earth. It is acting downward, but water is exerting a force on you which is upward. What is the force exerted by the water? Water exerts an upward force. on your body or any body which you are putting in the water. Why? Because I told you, as you go deeper, the pressure is increasing. Pressure is not same with the depth. As you go deeper, the pressure of the water increases. So the column which is on top and the column of the liquid which is lower has a more pressure. So it applies an upward thrust. It applies an upward thrust, student, which we call as a buoyancy. Which we call as a buoyancy. So have you seen all these things that how does a ship floats on the sea, student? Whereas a needle sinks in the water. These are some of the questions which will be answered there. Supposing, student, this is a bucket of water. Here is a bucket of water. Okay. If you have a bucket of water, student, and what happens if you put as any substance here, like a cork or something, what happens? It floats. You have seen it floats. So what is important? Why it did not sink? As you go deeper, the pressure is more, student. So water is applying an upward thrust, which is called buoyancy, student. So buoyancy or upthrust is an upward force exerted by a fluid that opposes the weight of a partially or fully immersed object in a column of fluid. Pressure increases with depth as a result of the weight of the overlying liquid. That's what we proved in the just now. That as you go downward, what is happening? The pressure becomes more. So when you see, you have seen people drawing water from what we call as some pond or something, water drying from a pool, water from a well. Have you seen a well?
Yes, sir.
This well is very deep or something like this. My drawing may not be very good. So there is a water in the ground, student. Water on the ground. So what they are doing, there is a bucket, student. Okay? You are putting now, student, bucket. When you put a bucket inside the well, what happens? It appears heavier or lighter. When inside the water, inside the water, inside the water, the bucket appears lighter. Appears lighter. But as soon as you take it out of the water, what happens then? It becomes heavier. Okay? Why? Why inside the water it appears lighter, student? When bucket is out of water. When this bucket is out of water, will it appear lighter or heavier?
Heavier.
Heavier. Because as this liquid is exerting an upward force, student, on it. Liquid is exerting, as you go down, the weight of the column of the liquid is increasing. It will exert an upward force on it, due to which it appears lighter. It appears lighter. As soon as it comes out, it appears heavier. So what we are saying, buoyancy. What is buoyancy? That all fluids exert an upward buoyant force on submerged objects. Whenever you try to submerge any object in a liquid, the weight of the object is acting downward due to gravity m into g, but the liquid also is exerting an upward thrust, upward force on the submerged objects. And that is what we call as buoyancy. What is the reason of buoyancy, students? What do you understood? What is the reason of the buoyancy? What is the reason of Buoyancy, tell me. What is the reason of the buoyancy? Because there is a pressure difference. ठीक है? On the top and bottom of the object, students. What we are saying? This is a liquid. This is your liquid, student. Now here I am submerging an object. Here I am submerging an object, student. ठीक है? Now I'm saying it is experiencing an upward thrust, upward force, student. Why? What is the reason? What reason we gave you? Because the pressure is not the same here at the top and the bottom. So it has to do with differences in pressure. There is a difference in pressure, student. ठीक है? There is a difference in pressure between top. This is the top and this is the bottom of the object. Between the top and bottom of submerged object. Submerged object. Where the pressure is more. This is my pressure of the top and this is the pressure at the bottom, student. Which is more?
Pressure at bottom.
Pressure at the bottom is more than pressure at the top. And that depends on the height, student. It will depend on the height. So there is a difference in pressure, delta P, difference in pressure. That will depend on the height, rho and G. What is height? Height of the column and density of the liquid and acceleration due to gravity. So due to this difference in pressure at the top and bottom of the submerged object, what we experience? Buoyancy. So why do fluids exert upward buoyant force on submerged object? If the pressure was same on the top and bottom, then why should they exert a pressure? There would be no buoyancy. But when pressure is different, then what will happen? They will exert a buoyant force. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. Something more examples. Have you ever had a swim in a pool and felt lighter? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
You feel lighter. ठीक है? In the swim pool. Why? Due to buoyancy?
Yes.
Okay. Due to an upward thrust? Okay. Have you ever drawn water from a well? What happens? That the bucket of water is heavier when it is out of water in a well. When you draw water, what do we experience? Bucket heavier outside water and lighter. What do you experience? Though the bucket mass cannot change, student, but what you experience, student, bucket lighter inside the water. Why?
Because of buoyancy.
Because of buoyancy. Now we start understanding what is buoyancy, student. Due to buoyancy. ठीक है? So have you wondered why a ship made of iron and steel does not sink in water? Why? Why objects float on water and do not sink? Some objects will sink, of course, we are not saying. Why some objects? Why some objects we are saying now? ठीक है? Why some objects float on water, do not sink? Due to
Buoyancy.
okay, buoyancy. These questions can be answered by taking buoyancy into consideration. Let us understand the meaning of buoyancy by doing an activity. Again, we will do some activity now to understand the meaning of the words. Okay, interesting. Let me do an activity. What the NCERT says, what it says, student, take an empty plastic bottle. Empty plastic bottle, any empty plastic bottle. You have seen plastic bottle, students. ठीक है, empty. ठीक है, this is empty plastic bottle. Plastic bottle. Airtight stopper. Airtight stopper. Put it in a bucket filled with water. You see bottle floats. Put in the bucket. What happens? It will sink or float.
Float.
The bucket filled with, you see bottle floats. ठीक है? Into the water. You feel an upward push. Try to push it further. Now what you are doing? You with your hand you apply a force. As soon as you release it, what happens? It comes back. Try to push it further down. You find it difficult to push deeper and deeper. As you go deeper, you will have to apply more force. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
More force. This indicates water exerts a force on the bottle in the upward direction. That means water is exerting a force, okay, on the upward direction, in the upward direction. And the upward force exerted by water goes on increasing as the bottle is pushed deeper till it is completely immersed. Till it is completely immersed. So when you completely push the bottle to the ground, till you push the ground, what do you find? Upward force is increasing. Upward force is increasing. Now release the bottle, it bounces back to the surface. Does the force due to gravitational earth acts on this bottle? What do you think? Is the gravitational force acting or not on the bottle?
Yes, sir. It is right.
Yes, the gravitational force is acting. Gravitational force is acting. Where it is acting? Downward. Gravitational force is acting downward. That we already know. What we are trying to say to the students? What you are trying to say? This is our bucket, student. You have a water. And students, this is our bottle, plastic bottle. Plastic bottle. So downward force is acting. That is due to the weight of the bottle, m into g downward. That is the gravitational force which is acting downward on the bottle. But there is a upward force exerted by water on the bottle or buoyant force. So the water is exerting as you go deeper and deeper. What is happening? The water is exerting an upward force. So what is happening? Water is exerting up thrust, what we call as now up thrust, ठीक है, or buoyant force on the bottle, ठीक है. So the magnitude of the buoyant force depends on the density of the liquid, whatever density of the liquid you have. So when they are immersed in fluid, the magnitude of buoyant force depends on the density of the different liquids will exert different pressure, different buoyant force due to their difference in densities. Therefore, there will be always a buoyant force, student, whenever we will try to immerse or whenever an object is put inside a fluid, inside a liquid. Most of the time, what type of fluid we are using? Water. Whatever, where you are floating in the pool, where the sea is there, where the ships are floating, they are floating on the sea water. So we are using mostly water. That is what we say. That density of the water is already known to you. Therefore, student, I can say the pressure exerted by the fluid in which the object is immersed causes buoyancy. So what we were talking about pressure, that fluids have a pressure. The liquid has a pressure, water has a pressure. And that fluid, when we immerse object on it, that fluid exerts a pressure which is upward, and the weight of the object is acting downward, vertically downward, m into g, and the upward thrust, up thrust, is called buoyancy. So the pressure exerted by fluid in which object immersed causes buoyancy. There will be buoyancy every time you try to put any object inside the water. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
The buoyant force experienced by the object always upwards because the pressure of the fluid increases with depth. Important point. Why should there be a buoyant force? Why it should be upward? Why it is not downward? Why, student? Buoyant force is upward, not downward. What is your answer? Why buoyant force is upward, not downward? Because the pressure is more as you go deeper. Because what happens? Pressure of the fluid increases. Pressure of fluid increases with depth. With depth. ठीक है? As you go deeper and deeper, pressure of the fluid is more. Pressure of fluid is less on the top of the object, more at the bottom of the object. What will happen? What will be the direction of the force? Upward or downward?
Upward.
Upward. That is the reason. So a boat or ship floating in the water and the floating of cork in water are examples of the buoyancy. Here we have shown this picture. This is an object, student. The gravity is acting on the object downward, m into g. M is the mass of the object. Mass of the object, student. The gravity is acting downward, which is W is equal to m into g. And the buoyancy, what is this? Object. So this is my object, student. And the buoyancy, this is the fluid, this is a liquid, this is a liquid fluid. What is happening? Buoyancy is acting upward, and there is a important point, density of the object, which we will discuss in the next class. Density of the object, which we are saying density of the object representing by this symbol, and also the liquid. This is the liquid. There is a density of the liquid fluid. Mostly fluid is water we are using. So the two forces are acting equal, opposite to each other, opposite to each other, opposite to each other. So this is the density of the fluid. This is the density of the object. Whether the object will float or whether the object will sink or whether it will go inside, how much inside it will go. These things we are going to do in the next topic, which will be discussed. Today's topic was what is buoyancy. Buoyancy is an upward thrust which will be experienced when we immerse the objects in fluids, because the pressure of the fluid is more as you go deeper. As a result of difference in pressure with the depth, the buoyant force acts when you exerts, when you put objects in the water, and it is always in a direction of upward upward. And that is the reason you have seen the cork is floating, and that is the reason you have seen buckets inside the water appears lighter and heavier when they come out. These are some of the activities which have done it. All right, we will continue and see the today's our concept board, what we have taught you, what I have taught you student, that what are fluids, then what we taught you, fluids exert pressure, and we told you what is buoyancy, and examples, and what is the reason that you experience an upward thrust when objects are submerged in the liquids or in the fluids. And you have also seen what is the pressure exerted by air. Why don't we feel it? All right, I will be able to see you in the next class then to discuss further. I hope you understood the meaning of buoyancy, right?
Yes, sir.
So please try to forward our videos to at least more and more friends so that they can take the benefit of this. And it will help us because we do a lot of hard work on these topics, and these notified, you have already subscribed, notified, you will get the videos as soon as they are uploaded. Okay, bye bye, good night, see you in the next class.
Thank you, sir.